Just the two of us. There ain't no freaking guy, just the two of us. We could make it if we try.
What is up, defects? We're back for another new comic book day show, and like Jay said at the beginning, it's just me and him today. We miss Guy, but he'll be back, don't worry. So if you're new to this is where we take that new comic book day pull list from Chris Nelms over at comicbookinvest.com. We take that list and we break it down defect style. Guys, if you want to get a closer look at Chris Nelms' list, it's going to be a link in the description. Go check it out. Awesome picks every week. He lists all the variants. You get a closer look at all that stuff. And of course, take a look at the CBSI website. Ton of great info. Before we get into these books, the Butcher 105 is going to hit you with those sponsors.
First up, we have Express Comic Book Pressing, Erod 212, your presser's presser. Go collect mentioned. Erod will submit your books to CBCS and CGC and pass along his discount. Defects 10 gets you 10% off. And next up, we have Mutant Beaver Comics, one of the world's largest online retailers for exclusive variants. Defects 10 gets you 10% off. They ship worldwide. Tell Pat and the B-Man the Defects sent you.
There you go. Without further ado, let's get into these books. Usually Guy Forge does this part, but I'm going to try to do my best to fill his shoes, so we're going to throw Chris's list up there so you can get a closer look before we get started. All right, first up this week from Aftershock Comics, we got 10 Years to Death, #1. You got a cover A there and a really cool 1 in 10 incentive variant. So here's what we got here. So essentially, this is written by Aaron Douglas, who is the Chief. Remember Chief from the iconic TV series Battlestar Galactica, and drawn by Cliff Richards, who did Shock and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So two well-known names there. The way to basically explain this horror series here is going to be The Shawshank Redemption meets The Sixth Sense in a it's inspired by a true story. So this could get interesting. You got a little paranormal, you got a little horror. It's death row. You got an inmate and a guard that kind of meet paths for the same reason. It's not what you think. So when I saw Shawshank meet Sixth Sense, that piqued my interest a little bit. So this one could be one to pick up. Next up, from Boom Studios. We know this is an ongoing series. I think it fizzled out a little bit, BRZRKR #5. We got a cover A. That's pretty dope. The black and the red, I like that. The 1 in 25 Shalvey variant, it's not bad either. The 1 in 50 Common Coley variant, not bad either. I actually like all these covers. The 1 in 100 Virgin of the variant we saw earlier, and then a black and white of that Common Coolo variant. That's a 1 in 150. Jay, you still reading this? Did it die off? What do you think?
Nah, it died off after issue 2 for me. I know it has a hardcore following because of Keanu Reeves. It was just, basically all violent pictures and really no storyline for me. So I kind of tailed off it to read other things, but we kind of figured that's what it was going to be from the beginning, right? So
yeah. So there you go. But some cool covers this week at the least. So.
Next up, guys, from Boom Studios, probably their hottest selling title, Something is Killing the Children, #20. Erica approaches her last initiation into the Order of St. George. Will she go through with it? Will she pass the Order's initiation? I think so, right? Because we've seen her have in the Order of St. George before, but this is probably the last piece of her origin story, so excited to read it. This is definitely in my top 3 books I have been reading, so super excited. Tinian's killing it. Boom is killing it with this title. We have that cover A, and we have the 1 in 25 incentive variant. Both look absolutely phenomenal. So, again, guys, excited to read this book.
You know my thoughts on this already, so I'm grabbing it. All right, more Batman little mini storylines here. So we have Batman. This is from DC, obviously. Batman versus Bigby, a Wolf in Gotham #1. This is essentially, so cover A, cardstock. Honestly, I like both of them. I am usually partial to the cardstock, and that's the case here as well. Just a dope depiction. The reflection in the moon up there. This is great. This is a great cover all around. So essentially, it's a werewolf. Okay, there's not a lot to say about this. It's a werewolf versus Batman kind of. We don't know if he's an ally or an enemy. There's been murders. There's been clumps of fur left behind. So clearly, this isn't going to be that much of a shocker. Be interesting to see how the story goes. Bill Willingham and Brian Level. I don't know. Could be interesting. Some of these stories, these little offshoot miniseries of Batman, have been pretty good actually. So. Guys, we got a second print here from DC, and this is Batman Urban Legends #6, and this is important, or I should say a key, because this is where Tim Drake was revealed to be bisexual. So they're bringing out a second print. Not a bad cover. Not much to say about this one, as opposed to it is, I guess you could say it's a significant event, so they're putting a second print.
Next up, defects from DC. Deathstroke Incorporated #1. We have that actually it says 1 in 25 incentive, but that's going to be the cover.
The cover, right?
Yeah, that's a mistake on my part. We have that awesome black and white cardstock variant, and we have the 1 in 25 Ivanov variant. All right, from Joshua Williamson and Howard Porter, Slade decides it's time for a change when he enlists into work with Trust. Who is Trust? It's an organization their goals are to take down heavy-hitting villains, and he has a partner in this. It's going to be Black Canary, guys. So almost a little bit of a different take on Deathstroke right here, hunting down super villains. I'm excited for it. Slade Wilson's one of my favorite characters in DC, so this is something I'm super excited for.
And I guess kind of not super important, but first appearance there of that team, right? Trust.
Oh yeah, so. And it's going to be the first appearance of the Trust. Whoever that consists of, we won't know till we read the book, but that's going to be the organization he is now enlisted with.
There you go. Some dope covers. All right, from DC. We got more DC this week. Detective Comics #1043. Cardstock variant again. It looks like a night vision scope type deal. And then that 1 in 25 new variant. He's been absolutely killing these wanted posters. I really dig that. They're so much better than the other 1 in 25s that they did. Those designers they did for a while. So yeah. These are just that much better. Yep. We got another first team appearance. Again, those aren't super important, but it is what it is. We like to bring you all the first appearances that we can find out about. First team appearance of the Red Crown. So, also from DC, Wonder Woman Black and Gold #4. Guys, I haven't been reading this, but the covers on these have been absolutely phenomenal. That's why we're throwing it up there. Cover A is great. Middletown variant is great. The 1 in 25 Mattias is, it's okay. I mean, the other two are just so much more my style. I mean, obviously everybody's going to have their own opinion. Jay, you digging those covers?
Yeah, cover A is awesome. Middleton always crushes it. And that Matthias, it almost looks like a cave painting, which I'm cool with. But when you put it up against the cover A and the Middleton variant, it don't hold much water, in my opinion.
All right, guys, from Dynamite, Sonya Versal #8. We like to throw we like to throw up the Dynamite titles for the Dynamite fans out there, and we love those cosplay variants. And today it's a 1, and there's a ton of these, but Jay always ends up picking one of the best ones. So the 1 in 7 cosplay variant this week is absolutely great. Cover A is pretty cool too. So all you Dynamite and Sonya fans, you got another one this week. So pick it up. All right, from Heavy Metal Comics, Intrusion #1. This is actually interesting. When I started reading this, I was kind of like, all right, this is just another, bullshit storyline. But it actually got interesting when I really dug into it. So Intrusion #1, it's a one-shot. Ethan Sachs and Marco Lorenzana. So a family cast out of Canada settle in the cursed Louisiana swamp in 1776. They want to protect their land and themselves, and it sounds like they'll have to do it against a creature that dwells in the bayou. So when I first read that, I was like, okay, this is just silly. You know, I guess it could be good, but it's not really my take. But then I read what this is actually, how they're going to do this book. It's going to be a flip book style, and it's going to tell the story from two different point of views, from the point of view of the family and from the point of view of the monster. So when I read that, I was like, okay, that's interesting. So that might be something I at least want to take a look at, right? Yeah, I mean, that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I love when you get both perspectives of the book, you know?
Yeah. And I want to see how this flip book style is going to work. You know, like how's that going to read? I'll be curious to see how that works. All right, another hot title that's been out there. We're just letting you know that Department of Truth number 13 from Image Comics is out this week. Not much to say here besides if you're reading it, you got another issue this week. Hot title, man. What a good story.
And next up, from Image Comics, Die number 20, from Garen Gillen and Stephanie Haas, Bleed Part 5. You could never go home, said Saul in issue 2. Let's see if Saul was right. Matt, I believe I've never read Die. I believe this is the final issue, right?
It is. That's the importance here. I never read it either, but I know there's a ton of people that read this. It was hot for a long time.
Guys, in the comments below, let us know. I haven't heard much about this. I heard it was a hot title. Let us know if the defects should hop on this and give it a read. But if you're a fan of Die, sorry it's coming to an end, but here's your final issue, guys. So I hope you're excited for it.
All good things must come to an end.
That's it.
From Image, Spawn number 322. Cool cover A. Awesome McFarlane variant. Ongoing Spawn title. We know we have King Spawn as well, so now you got 2 Spawn titles going. So there you go. You get your Spawn fill this week. Speaking of good things coming to an end.
Would you say good things?
I'm trying to be nice. Amazing Spider-Man number 74 from Marvel Comics. Let's go through the covers first before we break the news. So you got that cover A. These are all cool, right? Miles 10-year variant, the 1 in 25 dueling variant. We got a 1 in 50 Bagley, which is pretty cool, the villains variant there, and that 1 in 100 Gleason, which is essentially just a version of cover A. Guys, you know what? I'm going to let Jay break the news. Jay, tell him what this is about. This issue signifies.
So Spider-Man fans rejoice. And it's so funny because when I look at that cover A, Spider-Man and Mary Jane are also rejoicing. Why is everybody so happy? It's because Nick Spencer is finally done on this title. And hopefully Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man run, could get back to some good old-fashioned Spidey. It's been brutal, guys. I tried to read. I tried to make the best of it. It's not a knock on Spencer. I just didn't think that Spider-Man was the title for him. I'm excited to see who steps forward and starts writing. It's going to be a new story arc, so let's go. Let's get it, Spidey.
Yeah, 3 years culminating to this final issue. Nick, I think you're a great writer. This just wasn't your title, so hopefully on to bigger and better things for you. I know you're going to kill something else. I could guarantee you whatever the next Spider-Man issue is, that thing is going to be printed. Oh, people are going to order that through the roof. That's going to be a book you want to get your hands on. Yeah.
Red hot.
So we'll find out who's going to be writing that. There you go, Jay.
And Marvel at it again with Absolute Carnage Omega, guys. I have not picked. We've been knocking these. I'm tired of the symbiote variants. That cover A is pretty cool. You know, the 1 in 25 Shelby variant with Carnage on the cover is pretty cool. But these one-shots, I don't think I could get behind them. I don't think I'm going to be reading them. If you are reading them, let us know. I'm tired of symbiotes, man. I'm tired of these covers.
Yeah. I actually like cover A, but, you know, it's just, I don't know, overdone. All right. Jay and I decided this is the defects pick of the week, right? Is that what we decided on?
I think so, and I think it's going to be that cover A, dude.
Yep. So Darkhold Alpha #1 from Marvel. All right. You see cover A, we see the Smallwood variant, and we see the 1 in 10 Tormy variant with Cathan on the cover. All right. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but if you watched our coverage of the WandaVision series on BRZRKR Comics, let us know in the comments If you remember me talking about that, they pushed this title to after the show for a certain reason, and they got rid of the images of that Smallwood variant online for a reason. I'm pretty sure we know why. So I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, just in case you haven't watched WandaVision. But clearly, the Darkhold, Wanda reading the Darkhold, Chthon. This is culminating, right? We're seeing, the comics and the series kind of colliding, which has been happening a little bit more often, which I love. So enough of that. Let's get to the series. A one-shot that kicks off several storylines. Well, in my opinion, it's going to be a one-shot. Usually when they have the alpha in there, that's like the one-shot. And I know there's going to be several storylines to follow. There's like an Iron Man Darkhold. And I'm sure there's going to be an ongoing Darkhold title. So it's from Steve Orlando and Cyan Tormey. For hundreds of years, scholars and heroes alike have searched for the Darkhold, aka the Book of the Damned, written by the elder god Chthon. Now Doctor Doom, one of the greatest sorcerers in the multiverse, has found it, and Chthon has found him. To save them all, the Scarlet Witch recruits a group of the world's greatest heroes: Iron Man, Wasp, Black Bolt, Blade, Spider-Man. But in order to enter Chthon's dimension and fight him, the heroes must read from the legendary Darkhold, which drives them utterly insane. Does that sound familiar or what? So I'm excited for this.
Oh, man, we talked about this months ago. Matt, you brought Chthon to light months ago. I am super excited for this. Look how dope. Listen, I like the Chthon cover. I'm not a fan of the designer variants, but because it is Chthon on a cover and we don't get that often, I kind of like it. But the cover A and the Smallwood variant, those are insane.
100%. Yo, I don't even know. I have to honestly go back and see if Chthon's ever been on a cover in like human, in his, I know he has different forms, but in his form, I guess this is what they're using. It might be his first cover appearance. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm just completely shooting in the dark here. I can be completely off. I can't remember one, but it's very possible that he has been. I mean, he's been around for, 40, 50 years now, so he might have graced a cover here or there, so I'm excited for this one. Oh, and there's a 1 in 25 super loud variant, which is really cool as well. You can see all the characters there that we're talking about. They all look like they've gone crazy. So, and Doom in the middle. I like that. All right, Jay, all yours.
Marvel Inferno #1. We have that cover A. We have that 1 in 25 Canaro cover with Mystique, and we have the 1 in 50 Capullo cover. So from Jonathan Hickman and Valero Shitty, tough last name, promises were made and broken. The rulers of Krakoa have been playing a dangerous game with dangerous women, and they are going to find out how badly these women can burn them. We all been there. One woman follows through on her promise to burn Krakoa down to the ground. We don't know who it is. If I would have to take a guess here, I'm going Mystique because she's on the 1 in 25, guys. So, listen, if you've been following this Hickman X-Men journey, you might want to pick this up. I think all the covers are awesome. The X-Men's just a little tough for me to read. It's the Hickman run, but I hear it's phenomenal. And hey, man, Krakoa's been blowing up. I'm excited. I can't wait to see a mutant in the MCU. Hopefully, we'll be getting there soon.
And that artist must have had a shitty childhood.
Yeah, exactly, man. That's a tough one.
That's a Guy Forge dad joke right there, if I ever had one. All right, guys. From Marvel, the Marvels #5. These have had some actually pretty good stories and some cool covers. You can see the variant there. First appearance of Warbird in costume. There you go. So another minor key here, but something you may want to grab. Okay, we talked about a Miles 10th anniversary, and that's what this issue is celebrating. Marvel is bringing out Miles Morales Spider-Man #30. Some cool covers. The designer cover, he's got some new gear on. Not a huge fan, but I'm digging cover A. That is the one to grab if you're asking my opinion. That's the one to grab here. Or the 10 years, the 10-year variant. That's pretty cool too. So celebrating Miles. I can't believe it's been 10 years, man. Holy Christ.
Holy moly.
Wrapping it up, guys. We got a few more here. So, from Marvel, Thor #17, Donny Cates. We know. I forgot about this title, to be honest with you. I jumped off of it. So again, we got that Miles 10-year anniversary variant and a 1 in 25 by Klein, which is pretty dope. This is the finale of the Revelation storyline. Mjolnir goes missing, so that actually piques my interest a little bit. So it might be time to pick these back up and see what I've been missing the last few issues.
Yeah, I've been
this,
still,
Jay?
yeah, I'm still on it. The first story arc was the best so far with the Black Winter. Then, with Donald Blake, it was good, not as good. It kind of slowed down a little bit, but listen, this is the end of another story arc and the beginning of a next issue, so I'm sticking with it. I've been liking it, Thor.
There you go.
And last off, from Titan Comics, Gun Honey #1. This sounds pretty cool, guys. That cover A is awesome. That 1 in 10, nice virgin cover, and then that 1 in 25, almost like a little background on there. I think they all look good. She looks sophisticated, stunning, and dangerous all at once. That's what I like in a woman. When a gun is smuggled into a high-security prison, it leads to death of dozens and the escape of a brutal criminal. Notorious weapons smuggler Joanne Tan is enlisted by the U.S. government to find the man that she set loose and bring him down. So this sounds like an exciting, action-packed, series from Titan. Listen, females with guns, man. Shit is dangerous.
I mean, that's how I prefer my women, to be honest with you. So, guys, that wraps up the new comic book. 3, 2, 1. Guys, that wraps up the new Comic Book Day show. But before you go anywhere, remember, Tuesday nights over on Keep It Thorough Comics, the CBSI train on YouTube rolls on with the Indie Spotlight. Really dope show. Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern. Keep It Thorough Comics, link in the description. Guys, the rest of this week, keep an eye out. We got a live show Wednesday. We got coverage of the King Khan comic show that Jay took with special help from our buddy Back Issue Paulie. That video should be dropping this Thursday. I don't know what else we got going. I think that's it, Jay, right? And then just back to normal schedule, right?
Yeah, you're not gonna want to miss Wednesday night, guys. We have a ton of announcements. We got some community news for people in the community. We're showing off some stuff. It's gonna be good. We have 2 special guests, so stick around.
All right, so Repressible Defects. We'll catch you on the next new Comic Book Day show.